Good evening, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and good evening, NFL fans, to Week 9 of the NFL football season 2019. Well, this week, our Eagles finally come back home and play the Chicago Bears after a pretty rough road trip where we went 1-2. At the same token, these Chicago Bears are also struggling as well. So we have a much-needed, hopefully, victory against the Chicago Bears and head into our bye week where we prepare to play against the undefeated, right now, the undefeated New England Patriots and the retooled Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Buffalo Bills. Last week against Buffalo, at the time, the 5-1 Buffalo Bills, our Philadelphia Eagles, ran into some issues from two prior blowouts, one against the Minnesota Vikings and the one after that against the Dallas Cowboys, where we gave up close to 40 points in both of those games, and our offense stalled and definitely didn't score nearly enough to come out with victories or even look competitive. It caused for a lot of people, including people that are no longer on our team, like Orlando Scandrick, to start doubting, talking about things in the locker room and problems that we're going to have, not just short-term but long-term. And though I myself have admitted that there might be some issues, it can't stop us from coming up with a game plan and bouncing back. And that's exactly what we did against Buffalo. So, to the tune of 218 yards of rushing. Our rushing attack is what brought us back. Kind of rhymed, whatever. Where all three of our active running backs scored touchdowns. We had Howard with a run, which he powered us most of the time. You had Sanders that actually showed some speed, a little bit like Saquon, but we don't want to make those comparisons too much. We know he was his backup, but he showed some speed out there. He got injured, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. He'll be coming back. And then the guy that I wanted to highlight last week, Boston Scott, he actually found his way into the end zone as a running back. Now, he did have a muff kick, which didn't help things out. But he's starting to at least try to produce, and it looks like Doug Peterson has tried to incorporate him into the offense, at least while Darren Sproles is out. For the Bears, oh my gosh. Jeez. This team is struggling right now. Almost as struggling as I am, not chattering my teeth right now because it's starting to get cold. But you guys know how I do on this channel. Find the link, no matter what temperature it is. This is how I'm going to roll all season. And I'm not a big guy. Oh well. But the Bears are struggling right now. And their biggest struggle is between their head coach and their quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. A team that traded up to draft this guy. He's not panning out right now. And we need these offensive woes of the Chicago Bears to continue. Now, I'm glad it doesn't seem like our team is talking a lot of trash, kind of like we did against Kirk Cousins, because we saw how that turned out. But the Bears definitely are struggling on offense. But one thing that I know we definitely can't take for granted is the Bears defense. It might not be the 85 Bears defense, but it has one guy on it that can completely take over a game with Khalil Mack. I do not want to see that whatsoever, because we definitely struggled against Dallas, and they found themselves up against us 14-0 at the start of the game because of defensive play against our offense and our ball security, or lack thereof. But this is a very interesting week for us. I mean, we're sitting at 4-4 right now. We're only a half game behind Dallas, and there's no guarantees that Dallas is going to beat the Giants, or the rest of their schedule is not going to be easy. This is a Dallas team that found a way to lose to the Jets, okay? So we're only a half game out. Now, looking at the rest of the landscape of the NFL, and especially the NFC, it's pretty safe to say the NFC East needs to be won by the team that expects to go to the playoffs, and nobody else is going to make it, because there's a lot of strong teams out there. I mean, you still have San Francisco is undefeated at like 8-0. Nobody saw that coming. You have Seattle that's doing well. You have the Packers that are doing well. You have Minnesota doing well. You have New Orleans doing well. You have a lot of other teams out there. I mean, shoot, the Rams are like in 3rd place in the division. So we're gonna have to win the NFC East. And you don't win the NFC East by losing games. Now we'll worry about Dallas later on, but right now we have to take care of the Bears. And we're bringing some people back this week. One of the reasons why I did delay until doing this video Friday night is I wanted to see that final injury report. Looks like D-Jack is questionable. And the word on the street is he's actually gonna play this week. That opens up the field for everybody. Even if he's gonna be somewhat of a decoy and he has to play a little bit limited or protected to make sure he doesn't injure himself again, so we have him for the rest of the season. Darren Sproles will be back. That means that does sit my guy Boston Scott, but Darren Sproles possibly in his last season is very reliable when it comes to the kicking game, and he can be a threat still as running back. Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills have been back, but they're getting healthier and healthier, so they should play better, and I think that's part of the reason why we did dominate the Bills, because we have more of our regular starters at our corners. But Avonte Maddox is coming back, which means here in Philadelphia, Sidney Jones is not the most popular guy here. He has not done well with us so far, or well for us so far. So Avonte Maddox coming back is going to be our nickel corner, which then puts Sidney Jones back on the bench, where a lot of us like to see that right now until either he develops or plays out his contract and like goes somewhere else. Yeah. The big matchup we have to deal with, though, and also dealing with the injury report, is Dillard, because Jason Peters is out. Jason Peters is somewhat of a legend here, and it's kind of interesting his relationship even with Jeffrey Lurie and how much they're extending him over and over again and allowing for him to play sparingly while paying him a lot of money. I'm not gonna talk trash on Jason Peters because I don't know if he's gonna like jump out here somewhere and like whoop on me or so. I don't want to deal with a big guy like that. I would love to have that guy as a bodyguard. But it's time for changing of the guards. Andre Dillard is gonna start, but that also means he's gonna be tested. Khalil Mack in the Bears defense is gonna test his side. How are we gonna handle that? That's probably one of our biggest things we have to deal with, especially dealing with ball security. We can't have the blind side of Carson Wentz get destroyed, cause injuries, turnovers, and a flow of the game that takes us out of what we want to do. No matter if it's passing deep to D-Jack, getting creative and handing it off in the backfield to Aguilar going this way, or dumping off on screens, or just keep on playing smash mouth football and running the ball with Howard against his former team. We're gonna give Dillard some support, but we also have to get creative that if there's over pursuit on his side, we take advantage of that. And I think we should start the game just like that. Allow them to over pursue and take advantage of it and run right behind them. This is the last game. This is the last game before the bye week and before we hit a stretch of games that are very tough, and then a 5 stretch of games that's really going to define the rest of our season and see if we can go on a run, go on a roll, and hopefully end up NFC East champions and in the playoffs where we have a shot to win the whole thing. But it starts coming back home here and pretty much staying on the East Coast for the rest of the season. Hopefully coming away with a victory against the Chicago Bears. So this week, it's all about our Philadelphia Eagles family. Yeah, sure, we struggled and we fell down. But as we say before, we pick ourselves back up. That's what birds do. We find a way to fly. The Bears are coming in here, they're struggling. Let's continue to support their struggle and have them come in here into the link and leave out of here with their season all but done and our season ready to take off and fly. Let's go, birds, baby. Let's beat up on Mitch Trubisky, Nagy, double doink. Let's beat up on the Bears. Let's get to 5-4. Let's head into our bye week. And then start thinking about the future against the Patriots, Seattle, and that NFC East crown against the Dallas Cowboys. And it all starts here against the Chicago Bears, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Let's go, Eagles. Let's do this, baby. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Beat the Bears!